Hi everyone, just thought I'd do a update video of the A2A B17 Flying Fortress for Flight Simulator X. I've had this plane for quite a while now, but it's been a while since I've made a nice HD video, so here we are. We're at Bowerman Airport. This is the ORBX FSX scenery that I've purchased. In a second we'll just we'll jump into the plane and we'll go for a bit of a fly around just quickly. Okay, so here we are in the cockpit. It's been a while since I've flown this this plane, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm a bit rusty. We'll just go ahead and unlock the control locks. Test for free movement. It's interesting to note the B-17 test pilot in reality was actually killed this way because he forgot to unlock the control locks and he crashed and burned. But the project wasn't cancelled, thankfully, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this right now. Going to do a battery test now, one battery at a time. Make sure that each has around 24 volts. I'm testing on the normal inverter, I'm not going to test the spare or alternate inverter this time. I'm only going for a quick fly. Now this is a cold and dark start, so you'll note we've got zero hydraulic pressure.
I'm on it, Cap.
I'm just going to get the crew in the back to start the APU. That will give us some ground power and save the batteries just a little bit.
Captain, electrics are coming on.
Watch for that AC volts to spike once the power comes on. There we go. Got about 29 volts now. So got more reliable electrical power. Let's get the cowl flaps open because they're hydraulic. Obviously we've got zero hydraulic pressure, they're not going to function. So I'm just going to jump over to the co-pilot seats and I'm going to pump up the hydraulics a little bit. Once we get to about 200 pounds, the hydraulic motor will take over and boost us up the rest of the way. This will take just a little while. Probably coming up to about 100 pounds now. Let's have a look. Almost about 150. We try the control now. Cowl flaps may get a tickle, maybe not. Let's close the valve and continue to charge the system. And you'll note the motor kick in a sec, so block your ears if you're listening on headphones. There we go. So hydraulic motor's now charging the system the rest of the way. And our cowl flap's going to open nice and quick. We're going to start engine 1. As you can probably tell. Just going to go ahead and get the shut-off valves going. And the boost pumps. We need boost pump 3 on as well. Just due to the design of the system, just making sure the turbos are off. What I should probably do here is just realised I haven't checked the oil or the fuel levels. Before I do that, I'll just jump over here and turn the carburetor air filters on, keep dirt out of the engines, set the fire extinguishers. You want it to cool as cold when you're on the ground, although there's not much of a difference. Okay, let's check those fuel levels and oil levels. We're all okay. We'll jump over to the hangar just quickly and see what the mechanic has said about the plane. All looks good. Got less than 40 hours on the plane still, so she's fairly young. Check the alarm. Alarm works. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get the inertial starter working for engine 1. We'll let that wind up for about 12 seconds. Crack the throttle. Only want about an inch on that. Wait for the inertia starter to wind up, then we'll hit mesh. When you hit mesh, you'll engage the inertial starter, which is a fast spinning flywheel, which will engage the engine and rotate it. Put that over to auto rich. Engine mixture 1. Oops. I want magnetos on both. Almost kicking over. Maybe not. I've only given it one shot of primer. It's actually quite warm outside, but obviously not warm enough. We'll just stop that for a sec, let it recharge. Let the flywheel spin up again.
Clear prop.
Just give it one more shot of prime. There we go. There we go.
Starting. Oil pressure is coming up.
Always a bit of oil burning off when it starts after sitting for a while. These engines are actually in pretty good nick though. Engine 1 always gives me slightly lower oil pressure for some reason, just above red line in this case. We'll let her warm up for a bit and we'll get the other engines going. Okay, we'll flip on the generator for engine 1, seeing as it's now running.
Yes, sir.
I'll turn the APU off, although it's probably not the best idea. It's not too bad. We've got engine 1's generator spinning over. We're just going to load that generator up a bit, that's all. As you can see, the needle on generator 1's a little bit high, but within range, I guess. We'll be fine once we get the other engines going. Might just wear the generator out a little bit earlier, that's all. Go ahead and open the car flaps for all the other engines. Fuel boost on, fuel shut off is disabled. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start engine 2 and give it a shot of prime.
Clear prop.
Might just give it 2, seeing as engine 1 had a bit of trouble starting on just one shot. Let that wind up. Mixture auto rich. And we'll kick it over. Oh, set the extinguisher while I'm at it. Go. Oh, here she goes.
Engine 2 is starting.
This is much better.
Oil pressure is coming up.
all looking good. We'll go ahead and flip on the generator for engine 2 as well. That will balance out the load somewhat. Set the extinguisher for engine 3. Give it a shot of prime. Let the starter wind up. Let's verify our fuel levels. It's all good. The plane's actually quite heavy with such a heavy, large amount of fuel, so gonna need a bit of power taking off on this short runway. I'll just close that window so that we don't get so much noise. Open this side. And we'll mesh it.
Engine 3 starting. Oil pressure is coming up.
Bit shaky. Oil pressure is all good. Engine 1's the minimum, but okay. Okay, so now we just need to do engine 4 and we'll be on our way. Might as well turn on the radio power while we're here. Communicate with everyone else. Go ahead and wind up the starter for engine 4. Get on the primer.
Clear prop.
Extra auto rich. Boost okay. Kick her over. Realised I forgot to turn on the extinguisher to engine 4. Oh well. I did say I was a bit rusty. Bit of smoke. It's normal. Okay, so now we're up and running. Heading out shortly. We'll taxi down to the end of the runway. Get going. Get some ventilation going so we can close the windows. Let's turn on the rest of those generators. Get our beacon lights going. You always want full cowl flaps when you're on the ground, no matter if you've only just started or if you've only just landed. Ensure that your engines don't overheat. It's all looking good. Let's contact the tower here. Let them know what we wanted to do. We'll need runway 6, I think.
Tower, traffic Boeing 0760 is taxiing to runway 6.
Just going to let the engines warm up a little bit. Okay, just put the headphones on so it's a little bit easier, hopefully, to hear above the din of the engines. Give those controls just one last check. Make sure everything's okay. Just trying to get full movement on this column here. Elevators seem to be okay. Give it another check just to make sure. Carry on, elevator. Looks okay. I'd say we're okay. Okay, engines have had some time now to warm. We're looking at about 40 degrees minimum for the oil temps before you push any power through.
Cabin warmed up and ready to go.
There we go. So we'll just hang a right here and head on down the taxiway to the end of the runway. Taking off on runway 6. We'll do a bit of a loop and come in for a landing. Just a quick one today. Just get out onto the taxiway here. Pick up a little bit of speed. What I always do when I'm taxiing in a straight line is just lock the tail wheel. Stops the plane from wandering as much. Try not to taxi too fast. Alright, unlock the tail wheel, we've got a bit of a turn coming up. We'll pause here before we get onto the runway, just do a quick run up and mag check. We're not going to exercise the turbos, seeing as we've got the fancy electronic turbo system. We won't have to worry about congealed oil or anything like that. Got the cowl flaps full open. Tell the tail what we're going to do. Touch and go, might change that actually, but we'll do for now. Alright, we're running up engine 1 now to about 28 inches, which is pretty much full throttle, ambient throttle I guess, without any boost. Just running through the mags here and checking for RPM drop. There's a spec on this, don't remember it offhand. You don't want too much of an RPM drop anyway. Alright, now that's done, just gonna go full bore on engine 1. Running up to about 38 inches to verify supercharger is working. And engine 2 up to 28 inches, do a mag check. Mag left, mag right. Both, all good. Now up to full throttle. Check the engine. Should be checking the engine during the mag check as well for roughness. But she's a young plane, so I don't predict there's going to be any problems. There wasn't much of an RPM drop anyway. Okay, so mag check on engine 3, mag right, left. Check the engine. I think I might jump over and have a look this time. Nice and smooth. Just lean over and put that back to both. Now up to full throttle. These blowers have these engines have an internal blower as well as a separate turbocharger system. So the blowers are what we're testing now. That's and those are what give us about 38 inches on takeoff, or thereabouts, depending on a variety of factors, I guess. Just running through the mags for number 4 now. I don't think I'm going to be able to reach that from there. Check the roughness from here. It's all good, no problem. Car's probably wondering why we're still sitting here, so just do a full throttle check on that. Engine 4 is full throttle and back again, back to idle. Alright, we're away. Just inch her forward, line her up on the runway. We'll add some turbo for this run, because this runway is not exactly the longest or the most optimum, I guess, for this bird. Seeing as we've got almost a full a full fuel load, she's not going to get off the ground as easily as might otherwise happen. So we'll just get on the brake there a bit. Differential brakes help when you're turning corners. Otherwise, try and use the differential throttles, which I'm also doing. Just going to try and line her up as straight as we can. Just come over a bit more. And I'm not going to use any flaps here. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to dial up a bit of throttle, a bit of turbo, sorry, from the turbo superchargers. We've got our intercoolers cold, but it's not going to make much of a difference on the ground, so those temperatures are going to come up pretty quick. What I'm doing there is I'm just going to close up the cowl flaps a bit, because having them fully open at 100 plus miles an hour is not a good idea. So just close them up about halfway. The engines will get a tiny bit toasty, but we'll be fine. Okay, just going to dial up a bit of throttle, a bit of turbo, sorry. Watch those manifold pressures. Got 40 and brakes off. Lock that tail wheel. I haven't done this in a while, so forgive me if I'm a bit all over the place here. We're looking at least 100 miles an hour to take off. The runway, the end of the runway comes up quick. Oops, just wandering a bit here. Sorry guys. But my landing's better. And we're at 100.
And rotate.
Just going to pull back on the column here. Pulling back hard.
120. 130.
Just going to throttle back. And flip that gear lever now. I've set some cameras up around the plane, as you can probably tell, just for a bit of a nice effect there.
Your tail wheel is up.
Gear operation looks a bit shaky. I might have had a few hard landings in the past. I think I'm on my second gear motor, but we'll see how we go. Going to dial back the RPMs there to 2500. Neutralize the gear switch. And we're just going to go for a quick loop, nothing fancy. I'm going to dial back the turbos here to 0 because we don't need any more boost. We're staying at low altitude. I'm going to try and keep it under 2,000 feet. Heading back to do a bit of a loop now. This is the Shoo Baby add-on skin that I've recently downloaded from the A2A forums. I've got the credits there in the description, the details on that if you'd like to download it. It's quite a nice skin. Alright, we're on final now. I've closed up the cowl flaps just a little bit more because we're not going to be adding throttle for, well, at all really. We're coming in on final, so I've let the tail know. Just close up those cowl flaps a little bit more. Hear that hydraulic motor kicking in. Replenish that pressure. coming in a bit high and a bit fast, I know. I've got the engine throttled back, but I really should be a lot lower than I am. Or a lot slower, or both. But doing my best here. We'll see how this works out. I had a bit of flap, not too much, because then you'll float down the runway. In fact, sometimes I think it's better to land without the flaps. The runway is long enough. Should probably start getting the gear down now as well. Takes a while. A little bit of wind today, I think. Still too high, and I'm sorry. The gear's coming down. Getting about 125 miles an hour. I want to try and get that to as close as 100 as I can. Backed off on the throttles completely.
Main wheels are down.
Okay. Try and make this one smooth.
120
RPM. Still too fast. Still too fast. This runway is actually quite shorter than I'd like it to be. Too fast, too fast. Just flare this a little bit. Now see, this is the flare effect that I mean with having the flaps on. See, now I'm floating.
100.
Try and bring it back down again. Oh, that was okay. Thank you. Granted, I did take up almost half the runway just floating. I'm pretty hard on the brakes right now. Stop! Okay, we're at the end of the runway. Now normally I'd have the co-pilot unlock the tail wheel right about now, so I can do a nice turn, but obviously to do this myself, so I'll have to stop the plane, unlock the tail wheel, and turn the corner. I think I could have done that landing a little bit better, but it was smooth. That's the main thing, I guess. Not a bad landing considering I haven't flown for a while. We'll just taxi back now. We'll get the cowl flaps open fully, seeing as we're on the ground. Just going to take this little slipway here. Clear the runway.
Tower with traffic Boeing 076 runway vacated.
This is actually quite an easy bird to fly once you've mastered it. It's almost like your office, you know. It gets to look very familiar after a while. And yeah, nice plane to fly. Hopefully in one of the future videos I'll cover the C1 autopilot, which is quite a handy little device, and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's quite fun to learn as well, so I'll cover that in a future video hopefully soon. I'm just going to come around here and park it as I left it, as I found it I should say. Just going to do a 90-degree left turn here. Let's get on the brake a little bit. The left brake. Give it a bit of differential throttle. Bit of power. Oh, I think a little bit too much power. Okay. Get on the right brake there and just straighten it up.
By the way, that was a beautiful landing.
Wasn't a bad flight after all, I guess. I'm going to try and get back into this bird. just going to go ahead and shut everything down now. And we'll turn off in the order of start. So we'll kill number 1. And so on. Just making sure all the temperatures are in check there. It's all good. Alright. We'll bottom out the mixture. Go into idle cutoff. Do not turn the engines off by using the magnetos. Leave a lot of unburned fuel inside, it's not a good idea. Oops. And number 4. Okay, that's it. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Just gonna turn off the rest of the electrics here. Actually, hang on a sec. Let's turn everything else off first to prevent arcing, as it were. Make sure you turn off as much of a load as possible before you flip those battery switches. Oops, should have centered that one before. Generator's off, lights off. Okay, battery's off. That's it. Thanks for watching, and hope to go flying again soon.